Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I've done a few videos on ground cherries on my channel, and one of the most asked questions is how to grow them and if they're easy to grow. So the answer to that is yes, they're very easy to grow, but also I really don't grow them anymore. I did grow them many years ago for the first time, but after that they just grow on their own. So every season they produce a ton of fruits, and then either the birds eat them or something carry the seeds all over the yard, or the seeds just fall on their own from the fruits that I did not collect, and they just grow back. And here we are. I have a bunch that are volunteer, and they're all over my grass. I've been picking all of these out because there are just so many. So today I'm going to show you how easy it is to grow them, and how awesome they are as a plant to grow. And if you grow them one time, as I mentioned, you're gonna get ground cherries, always after that. So here, let's go ahead and pull a volunteer out. You can just dig them out, but usually I just yank them out. They're pretty easy. See? That is a ground cherry right here. And look at all these I have left. Some here, some all underneath here. Okay, so we're just gonna grow this one here in a pot, and I'll show you how easy they are. Okay, so here I have a container that I already filled with soil, and the soil you should use is something that's nice and soft, that can retain moisture but also allow moisture to escape, because ground cherries, they don't like standing water at the roots for too long. And also they don't like extreme heat. Like in Texas, we get heat up to like 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And when that happens, you're gonna notice that the leaves will start to burn at the tip. So they're very low growing plants, and they like to spread out. And if there's just too much heat in that spot that you put them, they may struggle a little bit, but they're still gonna grow just fine. But the optimal temperature for them is between 75 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit. That's when they do the best. But here I have, you see, they already have fruits, and really we don't want these fruits because we want the plant to continue to grow. So I'm gonna pluck all of the fruits off before we plant them. And if you have bottom leaves like that, just remove them, and then we put them into a bucket or containers, or raised beds, or even in the ground, wherever you want to put them. Just make sure the soil is nice and soft, that can drain. And if you're able to put them in a spot that they can get some a few hours of shade, that would work as well. But full sun would work. Again, like Texas, full sun is a little bit too much for these guys, but they're still gonna grow. So there we are. Let's go ahead and put them into the spot where they're going to go. I'm going to put them in full sun, just because that's, my garden just get a bunch of sun anyway. Okay, so the plant is going to sit here in the middle. It's gonna get a lot of sun. This area basically gets sun all day long. So it's gonna struggle a little bit, but I'm going to show you the struggle and how the plants will make it through. So the last thing you need to do is, if your container is already moistened, you only have to water a little bit. But if the soil is completely dry when you're transplanting, then give it a thorough water and allow the excess water to escape. But you see my soil is pretty wet from the rain, so I'm just gonna give it a little bit of water to help the roots get adjusted, and that's it. So we will be back soon. Okay, the ground cherry is 17 days in the bucket, and it is growing beautifully. Look at all the nice green foliage, and all that is due to the garden soil that I use. Basically, it's very simple. I just dug the soil out of my garden, put a few handful of the compost that I made in here, make sure that the soil is nice and soft, and I have been plucking all of these flowers off right here, because I don't want the plant to produce flowers yet, because I need it to grow a little bit more. So anytime I see flowers, I have been picking it off, because I need the plant to focus all of its energy on growing for now. So once they're ready at a good size, then I will let it fruit. So we'll come back soon. Okay, the ground cherry has been in the pot for 25 days now, and I was picking off flowers, but now they produce so many that I started to just let them be. So after 25 days in the pot, so you see there's fruits forming right here. You see that? And I think there's a few big one over there. So yeah, everything is looking good, very low maintenance. I haven't done much to this except adding a few handful of compost I think every week, and basically that's it. Not too much to do, and make sure that it gets nice moisture in the soil, and that's it. So the plant is looking great. So we will be back soon. All right, welcome back. We are on day number 37, and the ground cherry is producing a lot of little fruits here. And today I wanted to show you how bad it looks when the sun beats down on the plant that is inside a small pot, and the pot dries out so quickly. And this is what happens when the soil is too dry. So growing this in small container is not ideal, especially if you're in really hot climate. So it's better to put this in the ground. It grows very low and it will spread very wide, but in the ground is the best place to grow them because the soil dries up a lot less quickly. So that is just recommended, but you can grow them in pots. It's just you need to monitor the water, the soil, and make sure the plant gets what it needs. But yeah, this is basically it. It's very easy to grow. I haven't done much to it, and just prepare a good soil mixture that can retain moisture and also allow the excess to escape. Give it a lot of organic compost, fertilize occasionally, like once every 2 to 3 weeks. Very little, you don't need a lot, because if you over fertilize, you're gonna get a lot of aphids. So and that's basically it. They're not very picky. They can be in full sun, but in full sun the soil dries out and they will droop. So that is basically how easy it is to grow these ground cherries. And look at these are the pods right here. Don't eat them when they're green. You gotta wait until they're yellow, and then they will drop off of the plant, and then you will go around and pick them. And then once you pick them, yeah, I would recommend keeping them on your counter for about another few more days, and then it would turn very, very sweet, and it would taste like mangoes and pineapples. So here is what the pods look like. This is probably the largest they will get. These are just the tiny cherries, so they don't get very big, but they are delicious, and I can literally eat like a whole bowl of this at a time. So anyway, that is it. They're very easy to grow, and once you grow them, they're gonna spread out when the birds eat them, and then they may grow in the yard, so you probably would never have to grow them again. So I'll show you a few more places that I have these ground cherries, and then also the original spot that I picked this guy from. The little ones are still there. Okay, so here is another spot that I have the ground cherries. These are actually volunteers. So you see, they're growing nicely. You see, this is look at that. As you see, this is when they start to fall off, and I would take it inside and I'll wait a few more days, up to a week. They will still be good for even after 2 weeks. So you don't have to eat them right away. Just put them in on the counter somewhere, and they will be very, very sweet. You see. So the larger they are, the more they produce. So give them a lot of space. You see how they grow very low. So put them in a spot where they can spread out and allow them some room. So the less room they get, the smaller the plant will be. And here is the spot that we got the ground cherry from. You see, when it's being shaded and not getting enough light, and it's competing for resources with the other plants, it won't grow at all. It'll stay that size for forever. And even at that size, they will still produce fruit. You see here? You get ground cherries right there. So that is it, guys. That is how easy it is to grow ground cherries. So to summarize, just give it a good soil mixture that can retain moisture but also allow excess water to escape. Fertilize if needed every 2 to 3 weeks one time, very little, you don't need a lot. And allow it a lot of sun. A little shade in the afternoon would work best for the plants, but that should be it. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.